KUFAD, where we report first. Today, we will discuss one of the most important events, the election process and choosing the next president.
Thanks, Chuck. I'm Jessica Alpha.
And I'm Julia Rogers,
reporting here live in Chicago.
As the new year approaches, we say goodbye to 2011 and hello to 2012.
And as you know, a new year means new changes.
You're right, Jessica. 2012 will be our next voting year. It's then when America decides if Barack Obama will continue his reign as president or if someone new comes into office.
This November, Americans will have the chance to decide who will represent the United States in the White House. This all begins with the election process.
Every 4 years, a United States citizen who is at least 18 years of age has the opportunity to vote. The election process begins with your vote. During Election Day, you pick one president and their vice president you wish to have elected.
Once the voting is complete, all the votes are then counted in your state. The candidate who receives the most votes becomes the candidate your state supports for president.
This occurs in each state and the District of Columbia until each state determines their candidate. But to make sure each state has the same amount of influence in the election, you need to acknowledge the population differences, such as New York versus Montana.
To determine the influence, you look at the population. The more population a state has, the more congressional districts, and thus greater influence.
The influence is measured on electors. The electors' number comes from the number of districts, which comes from the population of the state, plus a state's 2 senators.
When a candidate wins a popular vote from a state, they win the number of electors. That's why states with a big population have greater power.
The number of electors is what really matters. There are 538 electors in the United States plus the District of Columbia.
The goal is to win the majority of 538 or 270 electors.
The Electoral College was part of the original design of the U.S. Constitution. The Electoral College was created by the Founding Fathers as a compromise between election of the President by Congress and election by popular vote, or the people's vote.
On the Monday following the second Wednesday in December, the electors of each state meet in their capitals to cast their votes for president and vice president.
These votes are then sealed and sent to the President of the Senate, who on January 6th reads the votes for the presidents of both houses of Congress. The winner, our new president, is then sworn in on January 20th.
Most of the time, electors choose their votes based on the candidate their state chose. But there have been times when electors voted opposite to the people's decision, which is completely legal. One instance was Al Gore.
Although Al Gore won the popular vote, George W. Bush became president because he was awarded the majority of electoral votes. Now it's your turn. We took to the streets and asked people like you, how would you change the election process? It's your view.
Hi, I'm Jessica Alpha, here for KUFAD News, here in Chicago on this cold, blistery day. I am here with Roberta Pattinson. So, Roberta, how would you change the election process?
Well, I'm a college kid. I don't have much time, but I still want my opinion to be included. Most kids can't vote due to voting locations. A lot of votes are being missed out because of this college kid.
Do you think it would be beneficial to include voting locations on campus?
Absolutely. That way students don't need a car. They can just walk there.
Well said.
And you, sir, how would you improve it?
Well, there isn't much information about candidates. People say they really don't know who they're voting for. They basically base it off the television or the newspapers.
So do you think more information about candidates should be available to the public?
I believe so. It would really confirm people's decisions. That way people would really know who they are. More in-depth of a candidate is needed, not vague.
Well, there you have it, folks. We asked, you answered. I'm Jessica Alpha for KUFAD News, signing off.